This Sunday, we are very pleased to have a service of Evensong for the Feast of St. Francis. It's been our tradition now for several years to have Evensong on the first Sunday in October and to tie that to this important saint's feast day. And so this year will be no exception to that at all. As has been our new tradition started last month, we will have a prelude recital of about 25 minutes. And this month we welcome Kyle Ritter, who is the musician at the cathedral in Asheville, North Carolina, right outside of Biltmore Estate. So we're very excited to have Kyle. He's prepared a really wonderful program for us. We invite you to come join us at 4:45 for that recital. The Evensong that follows will really pick up on the teachings and the example of St. Francis of Assisi. Of particular note is the anthem for Evensong. It's become really somewhat common. A lot of choirs that do Evensongs around the time of St. Francis will do a piece by Benjamin Britten called Rejoice in the Lamb. And it's a really fascinating piece and a very entertaining piece. Benjamin Britten wrote this when he was quite young. He was about 27 when he wrote it, and it was premiered when he was 30 years old. And it uses poetry by a much earlier poet, Christopher Smart. And Christopher Smart has a very interesting biography. Scholars really disagree exactly about some of the details of his life. There's no doubt that he wrote this very large poem called Jubilate Anno, or Rejoice in the Lamb. He wrote this in an insane asylum. And some folks say that he was in an insane asylum for the obvious reasons. And other people point to some circumstantial evidence that perhaps this was done more as a Machiavellian kind of a move by a jealous publisher and by his father-in-law who didn't like him at all. And that maybe that they kind of twisted some events to make it seem like he should be locked up in an insane asylum. So whether Christopher Smart was brilliant or brilliant and a little crazy, he wrote this really amazing poem, Jubilate Anno. And it talks in a very Franciscan kind of a way about how we can experience God and experience the sacred in all of creation. And so there are everything from this sort of parade of all these mythical creatures from the Bible and from mythology, and hearing all of the instruments that are praising God, all the way down to a very particular scenes of praising God through his cat. So it's a really marvelous and fascinating work. It is somewhat like a cantata in that there are some movements, but it goes very quickly. The whole work is only about 10 or 11 minutes long. But the individual sections have a lot of variety to them. There is a section that is given over to my cat Jeffrey, and this is one of the more famous passages from the cantata, and it's sung by what would have originally been a boy soprano, and in our choir will be sung by an adult woman. But it uses the organ in sort of a way, kind of like a cat stretching itself and being very limber as it moves around. And it goes on, and the organ just kind of weaves around, and it's sort of like a cat kind of lazily stretching around and having a good time. It goes on from there to talk about a mouse is an excellent creature and experiencing God through the flowers. Very interesting poetry and a way for us to connect to our spirituality. The office hymn, the hymn that concludes the service, will use that very familiar prayer of St. Francis, Lord, make us instruments of your peace. We're not sure actually if Francis actually wrote or said those words, but that prayer has been associated with Francis for many, many years. And in our hymnal, we have this beautiful hymn setting of that text with a very gracious and graceful kind of tune called Dickinson College. So if you've missed out on coming to church in the morning because of the marathon traffic, we invite you to certainly come with us after the traffic clears up and enjoy Evensong here at the Cathedral at 4:45. You can also watch it live streamed on YouTube, where it will also be archived for later viewing. We hope that our Evensong will help you experience some of the joy and sacredness of life that St. Francis teaches us.